Story 1 at 2:18 a.m. My phone buzzed. Motion detected, front door. I opened the app. The live feed came up. It wasn't my porch. It was my hallway. The camera angle was wrong, too low, too far inside. Like the doorbell was mounted on my wall, facing inward. I stared at it, trying to understand. Then I saw movement. At the end of the hallway. My bedroom door. Closed. Then slowly. It opened. On the screen, I watched myself walk out. Same clothes I was wearing. Same phone in my hand. I was looking down at it. Watching the feed. I felt my stomach drop. I looked down at my real phone. Still in my hand. Same app open. Same feed. On the screen, my double stopped in the hallway. Looked up. Directly into the camera. Smiled. Then raised my phone. Like it was showing me something. My app refreshed. New alert. Motion detected, bedroom. I didn't move. Couldn't. The feed switched automatically. Now it showed my bedroom. From the corner. Like a second camera I don't have. The bed. The nightstand. And someone. Lying under the covers. Still. Face turned away. The camera slowly zoomed in. The figure shifted. Just slightly. Then the blanket slid down enough to show the face. Mine. Eyes closed. Breathing slow. Asleep. My phone buzzed again. One last notification. All occupants accounted for. Story 2, I've got one of those motion lights in my hallway. Walk past it, it turns on. Stop moving, it shuts off after a few seconds. Simple. Last night around 2 a.m. it turned on. I was in bed. Door open, so I could see the hallway from where I was. The light just came on. No sound. No footsteps. Just light. I sat up staring at it. Hello? I said, because apparently I say that to everything now. Nothing. I got out of bed slowly and stepped into the hallway. The light stayed on. No flicker. No timer. Just steady. I waved my hand. Nothing changed. I walked forward. Still nothing. Then, I stepped back into my room. The light stayed on. That's when I realized. It wasn't reacting to me. It was already reacting to something. Something that wasn't moving anymore. I felt my chest tighten. Okay, I whispered. Very funny. I stepped back into the hallway. The light stayed on. I stood there not moving. Counting in my head. 5 seconds. 10. 15. It should have turned off. It didn't. It just stayed on. Like something was still there. Perfectly still. Then, the light flickered. Just once. And in that brief dip, I saw a shadow. Not cast from me. Not from anything I could see. Just there. Standing between me and the light. Tall. Close. I froze. The light came back fully. Nothing there. Empty hallway. I swallowed hard. Backed into my room. Didn't turn my back on the hallway. Then, the light turned off. Complete darkness. I exhaled. Finally. Then, it turned back on. Instantly. Bright. And this time, the shadow was closer. Right at my doorway. Still perfectly still. I couldn't see details. Just the outline. Waiting. I whispered, "What do you want?" The light flickered again. And for a split second, the shadow moved. Not a step. Not a shift. It just changed position. Closer. Inside my room. The light went out completely. I don't know how long I stood there in the dark. Seconds. Minutes. I didn't move. Didn't breathe. Then, the light turned on again. But now, it wasn't in the hallway. It was behind me. Story 3, I was in bed, lights off, scrolling on my phone. My laptop was on the desk across the room. Closed. Definitely closed. Then I saw it. A tiny glow leaking from the edges. Green. The webcam light. I frowned. That's not possible, I said. I got up and walked over. The lid was shut tight. No gaps. But the light was on. Steady. Active. I reached out and lifted the lid. The screen came on instantly. Not my desktop. Just the camera view. Facing me. Like it had been waiting. I saw myself in the dark room, lit by the screen. Then I noticed something else. In the corner of the frame. A second window. Smaller. Like a call preview. Someone else's camera. I leaned closer. The second window showed my room. Same angle. Same desk. Same bed. But slightly different. The lighting was off. The shadows didn't match. And on the bed, there was someone sitting there. In my spot. Facing the laptop. Watching me. I turned around. My bed was empty. I looked back at the screen. The figure hadn't moved. Still sitting there. Then, it raised its hand and tapped the laptop screen. From inside the video. Right where my face was. My laptop made a soft click. Like a key being pressed. Text appeared at the bottom of the screen. Switching cameras. The main view flickered. For a split second, I saw myself. From behind. Standing at the desk. Looking at the laptop. Exactly where I was. The feed stabilized. Now the main camera was behind me. Watching me. The smaller window still showed the bed. The figure slowly stood up. I didn't turn around. I couldn't. The laptop chimed softly. Another message appeared. You're in the wrong frame. Story 4, I keep a small night light in the hallway. It's one of those automatic ones, only turns on when it's dark. Last night, I left my bedroom light on and got up to grab water. The hallway was fully lit. But the night light was on too. Bright. Way brighter than usual. I stopped. That's not right, I muttered. I waved my hand over it. Nothing changed. I flipped the hallway switch off. The overhead light went out. The night light stayed exactly the same brightness. No difference. I flipped the light back on. Still the same. Like it wasn't reacting to light at all. Like it was reacting to something else. I leaned closer. That's when I noticed. It wasn't casting light outward. It was casting it inward. The glow looked wrong. Like it was shining into itself. And inside that glow, something moved. I jerked back. Okay, nope. I turned to go back to my room. Then the night light flickered. Once, and I saw it clearly. Inside the light. A tiny hallway. Same layout. Same walls. Same doors. But darker. And in that tiny hallway, something was standing. At the far end. Too small to make out details. But it was there. Facing toward me. I turned back slowly. Stared at the night light again. The glow steadied. The tiny hallway was still visible. And the thing was closer now. Not by much, but enough. Like it had taken a step. I felt my chest tighten. What are you? I whispered. The night light flickered again. And in that split second, the tiny hallway's perspective shifted. Like the camera moved forward. Closer to the thing. Closer to its face. I saw just enough to know. It looked like me. But wrong. The proportions slightly off. The eyes too wide. The smile just starting. The light steadied. The tiny hallway returned to its original distance. But now, the thing was halfway down it. I backed into my room. Didn't turn my back. didn't look away. The night light stayed on. Steady, watching. I shut my door, locked it, sat on my bed trying to breathe. A few seconds passed. Then, a faint glow appeared under my door, brighter than before. And slowly, very slowly, a second light turned on inside my room. Near the floor, exactly the same color, exactly the same brightness. I looked down. There was no outlet there. No night light. Nothing. Just that glow. And inside it, I could see the hallway again. But this time, it wasn't small anymore. It was full size. And the thing standing in it was right outside my door. Story 5 at 2:06 a.m. I woke up to that annoying beeping. The door's been open too long. Alarm. I walked into the kitchen. Fridge door was shut. Tight. The beeping didn't stop. I opened it. Light came on. Nothing unusual inside. I closed it again. Beeping kept going. Then the display on the front lit up. Instead of temperature, it showed. Door open. It's not open, I said. The display flickered. Then, other side. I froze. What other side? The fridge hummed louder. A low, steady vibration. Then, something tapped from inside. Not shifting food. Not plastic settling. A knock. From behind the back wall. I stepped back. Nope. The display updated. Let me out. I shook my head. There's nothing in there. Another knock. Harder this time. From deeper inside. Like it wasn't in the fridge. But behind it. The beeping sped up. More urgent. The display changed again. Wrong door. My chest tightened. Wrong what? Then, the fridge door handle moved. Just slightly. From the inside. I didn't touch it. It pulled. Once. Stopped. Then again. Harder. The seal strained. I grabbed the handle and held it shut. I'm not opening it, I said. The display went blank. For a second, everything stopped. No hum. No beeping. Silence. Then one last message appeared. It's not in here. Right behind me. I heard the freezer door creak open. Story 6. I moved into this place 3 weeks ago. Nothing weird, cheap rent, quiet building, no issues. Last night, I was looking for an extra blanket and finally opened the closet in the spare room. There was a piece of paper taped to the inside wall. Not old. Not dusty. Fresh. Typed. No signature. Just a title. If you hear it, follow these rules. I should have stopped there. I didn't. I read it. 1. Do not acknowledge your name being called after 2:00 a.m. 2. If you smell something burning, leave the room immediately. Do not investigate. 3. Keep all doors closed between 2:00–3:00 a.m. 4. If something knocks twice, do not open. It will knock a third time. Ignore it. 5. If you see it in a reflection, do not look directly. 6. If Rule 5 is broken, do not let it hear you breathe. 7. If you hear breathing that isn't yours, it's already inside. I laughed. Actually laughed. Because it read like one of those creepy internet posts. I took the paper down, tossed it on the desk. Went to bed. At 2:13 a.m. I woke up. No reason. Just awake. Then I heard it. A voice. From the hallway. Soft. Familiar. Saying my name. Once. I froze. Rule 1. Don't acknowledge it. I didn't answer. The voice came again. Closer this time. Right outside my door. Saying my name like it knew me. Like it had always known me. I pulled the blanket tighter. Stayed silent. The voice stopped. Then, a smell, burning, faint at first, then stronger, like something electrical. My chest tightened. Rule 2. Leave the room. Do not investigate. But the smell was coming from the hallway, right where the voice had been. I sat there stuck, trying to decide. Then, knock, 2 taps, on my door. Slow, deliberate. Rule 4. Do not open. It will knock a 3rd time. Ignore it. I held my breath. Waited. Silence. Then, knock, a 3rd time. Louder. More forceful. The door rattled slightly. I squeezed my eyes shut. Didn't move. Didn't answer. After a few seconds, it stopped. Everything went quiet. The smell faded. The hallway silent again. I exhaled slowly. Okay, I whispered. It's nothing. That's when I made the mistake. I opened my eyes and glanced at the mirror across the room. Rule 5. If you see it in a reflection, do not look directly. I saw something standing behind me. Too tall, head tilted at an angle that didn't make sense. Eyes wide, mouth stretched into something that almost looked like a smile. I turned. I shouldn't have. I did. The room was empty. Nothing there. Just me, standing alone. I laughed nervously. It's just in your head, I said. Then I heard it. Right behind me. Breathing. Slow. Close. Not mine. Rule 6. Do not let it hear you breathe. I froze. Tried to stop. Tried to hold it. But my chest started to shake. Air catching. I couldn't hold it. I gasped. Just once. That was enough. The breathing stopped. Total silence. Then, a voice, right in my ear. Calm. Certain. You read the rules wrong. My blood ran cold. I didn't move. Didn't speak. The voice continued. They weren't to keep it out. A pause. Then a whisper. They were to keep you quiet long enough for it to finish. I don't know how long I stood there. Eventually, the room felt normal again. No smell. No breathing. Nothing. This morning, I went back to the closet. The paper was gone. In its place, a new one. Same format. Same typing. Just one line. You can stop holding your breath now. Story 7, I don't mess with occult stuff. No rituals, no summoning, none of that. But last week, I saw a post online. One of those harmless curiosity things. It said, if you want to know if something is already in your home, say this out loud at exactly 3:00 a.m. If anything is here, you're allowed to move. That's it. No candles. No symbols. Just a sentence. I should have ignored it. Instead, I set an alarm. At 3:00 a.m., I woke up, sat on my bed, and said it. Nothing happened. I felt stupid. Went back to sleep. The next morning, everything seemed normal. Until I checked my step counter. It showed I'd walked 1,200 steps between 3:00 and 3:30 a.m. I sleep hard. I don't sleepwalk. I brushed it off. Glitch. Then that night, I noticed something else. My kitchen chair was pulled out. Just slightly. I always push it in. Always. I pushed it back. Didn't think much of it. But over the next few days, little things kept happening. Shoes moved. Cabinet doors left open. Lights on in rooms I hadn't entered. Nothing big. Just enough to notice. Then yesterday, I checked my phone's photo gallery. There were new pictures. Dozens. All taken at night. Every single one from inside my apartment. Angles I don't use. Low. Crooked. close to the floor, like someone walking around, holding the phone wrong. My hands started shaking. I opened one. It was my living room. Dark, empty, timestamp 3:12 a.m. Next photo, the hallway, closer to my bedroom. Next, my bedroom door. Open. The last one. My bed. I was in it. Asleep. The angle was from the corner of the room. Near the ceiling. Like someone tall was holding the phone. I dropped it. I didn't want to look anymore. But I had to. I opened the most recent photo. Taken last night. Same angle. Same room. Same me asleep. But this time, I wasn't alone in the bed. Something was lying next to me. Same shape. Same size. Facing me. I couldn't see its face. Just the outline. I checked the timestamp. 3:00 a.m. Exactly. I didn't sleep last night. I stayed awake. Sat in the living room with all the lights on. Watching the clock. When it hit 3:00, nothing happened. No movement. No sound. I almost felt relieved. Then I got a notification. From my own phone. Even though it was in my hand. New photo saved. I opened it slowly. It was taken just now. The living room. From behind me. I was sitting on the couch. Looking at my phone. And standing directly behind me. Was me. Smiling. Holding the phone. Taking the picture. Story 8, I don't remember recording it. It showed up this morning timestamped 3:03 a.m. File name do not play. No duration listed. Just a blank waveform. I figured it was some glitch. So I tapped it. At first nothing. Just silence. Then, a faint sound. Breathing. Not into the mic around it. Like the phone was just sitting somewhere while something stood nearby. I turned the volume up. Hello? I said like an idiot. The recording didn't react. It just kept going. Then I heard movement. Fabric shifting. A step. Then another. Slow. Careful. I checked the timeline. Still 0:00. It wasn't progressing. But the audio kept playing. Then, a voice. Whispering. My voice. You shouldn't have played this. I froze. I tried to pause it. The button didn't respond. The audio continued. Footsteps now. Closer. Then, a soft knock. Right into the microphone. 3 times. I dropped the phone. The audio kept playing from the floor. Louder now. Clearer. The same voice. Mine. But it's okay. A pause. Then, I needed you to hear where I am. The audio stopped. The file ended. The screen went back to normal. Duration now showed 0012. Like it had always been that. I didn't touch it again. I didn't want to. But a few minutes later, my phone buzzed. New recording saved. Same name. Do not play. This one has a duration. 0000. But when I look at the waveform, it's already full. And when I hold the phone up to my ear, I can hear something. Not from the speaker. From inside the phone. Breathing. Matching mine. Exactly. Story 9, it's a simple setup. Open the closet, pull the chain light on. Pull again off. No smart stuff. No motion sensors. Last night, I opened the closet to grab a hoodie. Pulled the chain. Light came on. Normal. I stepped in, reached for the hanger. And the light clicked off. Complete darkness. My hand was still on the chain. I hadn't pulled it again. Okay, I muttered. I pulled it. Light came back on. Everything looked normal. Clothes. Boxes. Nothing out of place. I grabbed the hoodie. Then, click. Dark again. This time I didn't touch the chain. I stepped back immediately. Not funny. I pulled it again. Light on. I stared at the chain, holding it tight. Stay on, I said. For a few seconds, it did. Then, I felt it move. In my hand. Just slightly. Like someone else was pulling from the other end. I froze. Slowly looked up. The chain went up into the fixture. Nothing visible. Just darkness above the bulb. Then, the chain tightened. Pulled upward. Against my grip. I held on instinctively. Let go, I whispered. The chain pulled harder, dragging my hand up toward the ceiling. I let go. The light stayed on. The chain swung gently. Back and forth. Back and forth. I stepped out of the closet. Didn't take my eyes off it. The chain kept swinging. Slower. Slower. Then, it stopped. Completely still. Then, it moved again. But not swinging this time. It lowered. Slowly. Like something above was feeding it down. More chain than there should be. Link after link appearing. Hanging lower. Closer to the floor. I backed away. The chain stopped about waist height. Then it twitched. Once, like a finger curling. And started to rise again. Pulling itself back up. Link by link. Until it disappeared into the fixture. The light flickered. Then went out. I didn't turn it off. I didn't touch it. I stood there in the dark, trying to breathe. Then, the chain dropped again. Fast this time. All the way down. Hanging right in front of me. Still, waiting. I don't think it wants the light on. I think it wants me to pull it. Story 10. I checked my router app before bed, like I always do. Phone, laptop, TV, normal stuff. Then I saw a new device. George Crowley. That's my name. I figured maybe it was my phone glitching or duplicating. But my actual phone was already listed. 2 devices. Same name. Different icons. Different IPs. I tapped the new one. Connected at 2:02 a.m. It was 2:01. I stared at the clock. Waited. At 2:02 exactly. My phone buzzed. The list refreshed. There it was. Active. Strong signal. Inside my network. Inside my house. I walked through each room. Nothing out of place. No extra devices. No one there. I went back to the app. The second me was using data. Uploading something. Constant stream. I tapped details. It showed activity logs. File names. They weren't normal files. They looked like timestamps. 0203 MOV. 0204 MOV. 0205 MOV. I opened one. It buffered for a second. Then played. Grainy video. Low light. My bedroom. From the corner. I was in bed. Asleep. The timestamp matched. 0203. I closed it immediately. Nope. I went back to the list. The other device was still uploading. More files appearing. 0206 MOV. 0207 MOV. I didn't want to open them. But I did. The second video showed me getting out of bed, walking toward the door. But I hadn't moved. I was still standing in the hallway. Watching this. I checked the time. 2:07. My chest tightened. I looked at my bedroom. Door still closed. Lights off. I opened the next file. 0207. In the video, I was standing in the hallway, holding my phone, looking at something. Exactly what I was doing right now. The angle was from behind me. Close, too close, like whoever was recording was right over my shoulder. I dropped my phone, spun around. Nothing there. Empty. I looked back at the app. The device name had changed. No longer my name. Now it said, primary user. My actual phone was renamed secondary user. I felt my stomach drop. The activity log updated. One new file. 0208 MOV. I didn't want to open it, but it started playing on its own. Autoplay. The video showed my hallway. From the same angle. Behind me. But this time, the camera pulled back. Slowly, revealing more of the frame. Revealing something standing there. Holding the phone. Recording me. It looked like me. Same height. Same build. But the way it moved. Slightly delayed. Like it was learning. The video ended. The app refreshed. The device disconnected. Gone from the list. Everything back to normal. Just my phone. My devices. Nothing else. I stood there for a long time. Trying to calm down. Eventually, I checked my own device info. Just to be sure. Under device name. It now says, secondary user.